Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to recap preseason week 3 for the Tennessee Titans as the Titans lose to the Chicago Bears 19-7. Okay, so I did not recap the preseason games for the Titans for week 1 or 2 because I was busy, but now I have time to make these videos. So for this game today, before I begin to talk about this game, let me give you guys my overall preseason philosophy, because there's a big debate whether or not these games actually matter. Okay, I agree that you cannot take one preseason game, okay, take it out of context and say, okay, this is the way the team is going to perform this season. I agree with that premise. But I also believe you can't take one regular season game out of context and think that shows what kind of team you're going to be. For instance, look at the 49ers win last year over the Rams week 1, 28-0. If I would have shown you that game, and only that game, let's say you're locked in a jail cell, you don't know what's going on, you would have said, wow, the 49ers look like they could compete for the playoffs. And then little do you know, that's one of the 2 games they won for the entire season. If I would have shown you the Titans whooping the Jaguars as on Thursday Night Football last year, you would have said, hey, that looks like a 12-13 win team. But if I also would have showed you the Titans getting their ass kicked by the Jaguars, you would have said that's a 4 or 5 win team. I don't even think you can take regular season games out of context, look at them individually, and say, okay, this shows what kind of team that team is. I don't think you can even do that. So with that said, we're going to look at this game today as if it was kind of a regular season game, because when the hell was this game played? It was played 12 Central on a Sunday afternoon. This is when the hell we play. It was the 3rd preseason game. The offense played for 3 quarters. The defense played for at least 2 quarters and a half. They talked about all this week, oh, we're viewing this as a regular season game. We're going to game plan for this game like we would any other game during the regular season, because they know they're going to be playing in this time slot pretty much all season. The one difference is they did not game plan for the Bears specifically. They didn't go too in depth. So perhaps they didn't look at Mike Glennon and say, okay, we need to do this to slow him down. We need to attack the Bears here in their secondary here. They didn't trot out all of their crazy plays and whatnot. So with all that said, this was horrible, okay? It was awful. It was terrible. It was awful, okay? It was terrible. Now, just because it was does not mean, okay, the Titans are going to be awful or terrible or whatever, because the Titans had their fair share of bad games last year, okay? The Pittsburgh Steelers that went to the AFC Championship looked horrible against the Miami Dolphins last year in the regular season. You can never even look at one game out of context and expect that to tell you what kind of team you're looking at. But this game was bad, okay? So let's talk about this game. Let's first talk about our quarterback. Okay, Marcus Mariota. Now, this was not a good game for him. And still, look at his stat line, right? 12 of 21, 193 yards, 9.2 yards per attempt, a touchdown, 0 interceptions, 103 passer rating. These are great stats, but, I mean, obviously he missed some throws. He was high on some throws. His footwork wasn't that consistent today. Didn't always have a clean pocket, but he needs to be slightly better than this. He's going to have to lead us to the promised land. The other teammates won't help him out too much. They'll help him out, but he's going to have to be the reason we get there, okay? So he's going to have to be better than this, but it is going to be the worst that he's going to be. We're going to be fine. I just would have preferred a slightly better performance by Marcus Mariota today, because we can't afford for Mariota to be inaccurate. Okay, he's never inaccurate. And today, he missed about 3 or 4 throws. Very uncharacteristic for him. And also, he and Taywan Taylor, they were miscommunicating a bit to me, so look out for that. They need to really fix out some offensive issues right now. Let's move on to the coaching now. Mike Mularkey and Terry Robisky. Poor game planning for this game. I understand, again, it's the preseason. They don't game plan much. I was not in love with the play calling today. There was one specific play. It was a 3rd and 7, I believe, in the 2nd quarter, when we actually looked like we were going to go down the field and score a touchdown, and they called a running back, Derrick Henry, throwing the flat, which made no sense to me. It was a horrible play call. This was a drive in which we should have went down, scored a touchdown. Then Ryan Suckoff missed a field goal, still had 0 points at this point in the game. I don't know what kind of play call that was. They should have put Mario in the pocket on that play, looked to throw 8+ yards down the field, and no, let's throw to Derrick Henry in the flat. Didn't make any sense to me. I hope I don't see this junk during the regular season. You're still seeing this exotic smash mouth crap. Okay, sometimes it works, but other times it's awful. You know, they try to do these pitches and reverses and this and that, and Taywan Taylor reversing, and oh, we're gonna pitch this and shovel past that. I mean, sometimes it works, but I don't know, man. We have enough weapons at this point. Do we need to do this junk? Can't we just spread these wide receivers out, have these running backs in the backfield, and just have a pretty traditional offense with some of that junk? You can have some of it, like the occasional DeMarco Murray throw to Lawan, you know, in the end zone or in the, you know, near the end zone at least, you know, at the goal line. That's fine. But sometimes it just seems too extraneous. It just seems too much. Like they're getting in their own way. I don't know. They're going deep in that Madden playbook, man, sometimes. I don't get it. Adoree Jackson, awful. He was the worst player on the team today. I don't want to hear any other argument. No one was even close. He was a complete detriment to the team today. Now, that does not mean it's going to be this 2 weeks from now, or 2 years from now, or 10 years from now. But today, awful. Okay, he let up about 5 completions, maybe even 6. Had a pass interference right next to the end zone, or in the end zone actually. He held on to Kevin White for dear life. He was awful. He can't cover a damn slant route. I don't know what he's doing out there. He looked like a deer in the headlights a couple of times. He had a horrible punt that he caught within the 5-yard line. He was awful. Okay, this guy, man, look, that again. As I told y'all when we drafted him, okay, because no one wants to watch the tape. No one wants to actually sit down and watch Adoree Jackson tape and see, okay, what kind of player is this? We just want to look at his stats and say, ooh, 6 interceptions, wow. If you turn on the tape, you will see Adoree Jackson right now is just not a very good cover corner. He gave up like a passer rating in college of about 89, maybe even more than that, give about 8 passing touchdowns this collegiate season. He's not a good cover corner right now. The hope is we develop him into one, and perhaps this will be the case. But I would have preferred to get in a good, I would have preferred to have gotten a good cover corner right now. I would prefer to have Tre'Davious White right now, or Quincy Wilson right now, and perhaps Adoree Jackson will develop, and he'll be fine, and he'll be good, and he'll be great, and he'll have special teams plays like last week. Man, that was a great special team touchdown that was called back, and it's gonna be awesome. But for right now, man, he just can't cover. I mean, he'll stay somewhat close. Okay, he won't let the wide receiver just run down the field after the catch for 50 more yards, but he's not going to be able to stop them from catching the damn ball. And this is our damn problem. And he ain't fixing that damn problem. Right now, he's number 4 on the depth chart. This is where he should be. I saw Terry McCormick tweeting Adoree Jackson should be in the slot. No, he shouldn't. He can't cover in routes. How the hell is he going to be a slot wide receiver, a slot cornerback, and not be able to cover in routes, not be able to cover out routes? You need him outside. He's going to be a 5'10" outside cornerback that isn't that good. Okay, that's my projection from him, and he was awful today. And I hope I'm wrong on this kid. I really do. I was wrong on Jack Conklin. I mean, Jack Conklin I felt was going to be all right. Let me be clear. I always felt Conklin was going to be all right. I honestly feel Jackson's going to be a bust. That's my honest opinion, but we'll see on this manner. Okay, so he was awful. Derrick Henry. Now, I loved his touchdown. I also loved his touchdown that was called back. He's very good within the red zone, man. This guy knows how to go to the sidelines, how to maximize his yardage on each run. He's fantastic. But I also feel as a runner, as a starting running back, he's just not as good as DeMarco Murray to me right now. I feel like our offense is much more prolific when we have DeMarco Murray in the game. Henry, to me, is more that grinder guy. You put him in the red zone, he gets you red zone touchdowns, and he's great. But when we're trying to move the football down the field, I feel Murray's just better than Henry right now. He offers more in the receiving game, screen game, and he just knows how to move the chains better to me in play. Now, anything that's like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, yeah, put in Derrick Henry, but 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, whatever. I like DeMarco Murray still as a starting running back for this football team. Small thing, but I don't think Henry's been... He's been very good, again, in the goal line situations and the red zone, but I think still I prefer DeMarco Murray right now for the starting running back of this football team. Okay, so there are some positives. First of all, Taywan Taylor. He had a miscommunication with Marcus Mariota early in the game, but this guy's fantastic. I mean, he had a 47-yard catch, I believe, around there, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was over the middle of the field. He kept his legs running. He looks really good, okay? You saw another huge play from him against the New York Jets preseason week 1. This guy looks good, and I cannot wait to see what happens when we trot out Taywan Taylor and Corey Davis together. These guys are going to be making some magic, man. It's going to be incredible to watch. Rashard Matthews still looks like a good, consistent weapon for this football team. So you're going to have Corey Davis, Taywan Taylor, Rashard Matthews, maybe even Trey McBride, right? Y'all know I hate Trey McBride, not because he's that bad, but because I hate Titans fans always saying, oh, look out for Trey McBride, even though he never plays. He's Michael Preston 2.0. But maybe now, like Michael Preston, he'll actually get on the field and catch some stuff. So I'm looking out for Trey McBride this year. Maybe he's actually going to make the team. Harry Douglas, didn't see him today. Tajay Sharp, barely saw him today. But Taywan Taylor, and this guy looks good, man. I saw some people arguing whether or not he's better than Kendall Wright. I won't say that. Let's not be revisionists, people. Kendall Wright was really good for his first 2 seasons. The problem was he never actually progressed from there. So let's hope that Taywan Taylor, his stock just keeps going up, up, up. Whereas Kendall Wright, man, his rookie year was decent. His second year was really good, broke like 1,000 yards with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jake Locker as his quarterbacks, okay? Then he went down because he didn't care anymore. The new system came in. He wasn't paying attention, whatever. And then today he looked actually decent. I think Kendall Wright's fine, okay? I think that Taywan Taylor for us may be better because now our expectations for Taylor is, hey, just be a solid wide receiver for us. Whereas for Kendall Wright, we kind of wanted him to be a #1. He couldn't really do it, and then his stock went down, down, down. We'll see with Taywan Taylor, but I really like him, and I think you have to like him right now for this football team. Defensively, Wesley Woodyard was all over the place. Jayon Brown continues to make plays. I really like the play of Jayon Brown right now. Other than that, not too much. I felt Kevin Byard struggled a bit today. Was a little late reacting to some stuff. Did let up a huge play, was just a little late though to me. Jonathan Cyprien, I haven't seen him really doing much. I have to look up the tape to see what he's been doing, but I haven't seen too much from him. That's slightly concerning, but again, I'll turn on the tape and see what I see from him. But other than that, I mean, those are the main defensive conclusions. Again, look, I hope Adoree Jackson is going to work out for us. I really do. Trust me, I want it to be great. I want it to be awesome. But, man, today, awful. I mean, he was the worst player on the team. It wasn't close. Okay? Another thing that pissed me off about this game, penalties. They were terrible. Taylor Lewan, stop it. This guy continues to do the most ridiculous stuff out here, punching people in the face mask this, holding that. I get it. You're gritty. You're tough. You're a hipster. You have stupid hats. I understand it. Relax, dog. You need to stop getting all these damn penalties because we're going up against the Raiders, and the last time we faced the Raiders, you had a horrible penalty in the 4th quarter, and I don't want that again. Jesus. Quinton Spain got kicked out of the game. He should not have been kicked out. I looked at the replay. He barely did anything. But still, the discipline today was bad. I didn't get the discipline today. And again on Mike Mularkey, here's the funny thing. I'm actually going to defend Mike Mularkey now. If y'all remember me when I talked about Mularkey being hired way back then, like 2015 now, I guess, 2016, whatever. I didn't like the hiring, but, man, he proved me wrong. He was absolutely superb last season. But I'm already seeing some people saying, oh, this is why Mike Mularkey should be fired. If the Titans don't make the playoffs this season, he should be fired. I'm actually going to argue against that a bit. First of all, the only reason we are saying that is because it is Mike Mularkey. If it was Josh McDaniels, let's say Josh McDaniels was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans right now. He took us from 3-13 to 9-7. Next year we were expected to be a playoff team, but we only ended up being 8-8. We would not fire Josh McDaniels. No way in hell. If it were Sean McDermott, no way in hell. Dirk Cutter, no way. Darrell Bevel, no way. If we traded for Sean Payton, no way. But because it was Mike Mularkey, who we hired, and other people, a lot of people, were skeptical of, including me, the conversation is, if the Titans don't do well this year, he should be fired. This is why you don't hire unqualified candidates. Even though they worked out initially, Mike Mularkey, again, I'm more optimistic than pessimistic. If he goes 8-8 this season, if this team goes 8-8, people are going to call for his head. Deservedly or not, to me, it would be undeserved. Because again, if Josh McDaniels did this, we'd be fine with it. It'd be a little disappointing, but we wouldn't be calling for the guy's job. No, we say 1 more year, let's see if he can fix the ship. For Mike Mularkey, the conversation, if this team underwhelms, will be get rid of him. Deserve it or not, that will be the conversation. Now, let's talk about the Oakland Raiders. Okay. So the Titans go up against the Oakland Raiders 2 weeks from this exact moment. I felt initially that I was going to pick the Titans to win this game. But the Titans are just not in good form right now, okay? Now, that does not mean that they're not going to end up being in good form. They're not going to end up being a playoff team. It's just that right now, the momentum, it's not in their favor. They're not looking good right now. The Raiders are looking better right now, right? They've been putting up points. They put up points against the Rams last week, put up points against the Cowboys yesterday. Their offense is firing on all cylinders. Our offense, last week it was. The week before that, it wasn't. Today, it wasn't, okay? So our offense is too finicky right now. But again, we have two great white hopes. One is a black hope, one is a white hope, in Eric Decker and Corey Davis. These two men are coming back. So I'm hoping that when these two men come back, they are able to invigorate this offense because, man, the Raiders, again, they're putting up points right now. If we're going to beat them, we're going to have to put up, I'd say, at least 27, probably 30, okay, to beat the Oakland Raiders right now. Those two men can help. Also, running with DeMarco Murray more will help because, to me, again, I think DeMarco Murray is just more conducive to a more prolific offense. I just feel like his running style from the 20-yard line of the Titans to all the way down to like the red zone, I feel like he's more conducive to success. I feel like he's maximizing his team's potential, moving down the field more than Derrick Henry. Henry isn't bad. I just feel that Murray's better for that range of field play. You can put in Henry periodically there, but I want Murray to be the main guy until you get to the red zone. Because in the red zone, Derrick Henry is money. The way he bounces outside, the way he can stay inside, keep the football moving, keep his legs churning, it's great. But Murray, to me, is better at moving the chain. So when Murray gets more of the load, Corey Davis and Eric Decker come back, then perhaps we can keep up with the Raiders. But right now, man, the way this team is currently playing, it doesn't look great. But always remember this, because we have a tough start to this season. But remember, if you start the season poorly, that does not even come close to meaning that you will end the season poorly. Last year, the Miami Dolphins were horrible for the first 5 weeks. They had a terrible Thursday night football game in week 5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. They were 1-4. They were awful. Ryan Tannehill was going to get benched. It was terrible. And then they went on a great run, and they almost, actually, no, they did make the playoffs. The Bucs last year started underwhelming, got hot, almost made the playoffs. Titans last year started poorly, got hot, almost made the playoffs. If we start the season poorly, it's fine. We're going to have to pick things up, and our schedule will allow this, as our schedule gets much easier as we get along. But for right now, I'm not loving the start to our season, as we have to host the Raiders, go to Jacksonville. Jacksonville right now has problems, though. Blake Bortles stinks, as usual. And then we have to host the Seahawks and then go to Houston. And I wanted to say 2-2 for that range. It could still easily be 2-2. 3-1, probably not. 1-3 might be happening. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Titans versus Chicago Bears. What are your guys' thoughts on this game? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.